Welcome to the virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway, also known as Gateway. And tonight, we're not on the oval. We're going a little left and right tonight. We're on the road course for here at Gateway. Now it's a little outdated, looks like, but that's okay. But tonight we're here for the NAOR Cup Series for the round of 12 cutoff, race number 20 of the season. And tonight we make our playoff field from 12 to 8, and we'll see who will be the 8 racing for the championship over the next 6 weeks. And we'll see who will be able to win the championship in 6 weeks' time. But first up, we got qualifying here tonight. These drivers have 1 lap with 5 minutes to set their lap. As on the top of the board in practice, it was Brock Morris at a 59.175. So we'll see if he can back up his lap here in qualifying. Currently on the track, a few drivers out on the track. Focus on Matthew O'Brien right now, but tonight we're going to see a nice little short road course. So it's going to be 60 laps tonight. The infield road course, kind of not really, never really seen any stock cars on this road course. So it's going to be interesting to see tonight.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what series have driven on this racetrack. I'm sure maybe IMSA's at one point, or the WeatherTech series, or some other local series here in the Midwest. But I guess they got NASCAR as well here in the NAOR Cup Series, as here comes Matthew O'Brien off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway.
And here we go, down the front straightaway. Now he's going to get hard on the brakes, veer off to the left here. Down into turn number 1.
They're right next to
that inside curb. We'll sling back out to the left-hand side here. Well, right-hand side of the track. You have a little tiny chicane, kind of high speed. You gotta take your time through here. Don't want to cut that too much. And you have a little tiny straight. Kind of have a pretty much similar chicane. And then you'll have the sweeping or kind of carousel, right-hand carousel. And also, you gotta be careful here, as it just ran a few laps myself. This left hand of the track really comes up on you quick. You can find yourself out there in the grass. They have a little hairpin right here to get you back onto the oval. And you'll take the oval 3 and 4 and leave that. That's pretty much a whole lap here at the Gateway Road Course. We'll see what this does for Matthew O'Brien.
as he comes off of turn 4 here on the oval, coming to the stripe. Where will he put that 43 machine on the board? 59.430. Currently he sits P1 on the field.
447 on the top of the board for now. Only 3 drivers to set a lap. Jonathan Jurgens set a 59.915. Now Brock Morris will be one to watch, as he was the fastest in practice, as he is currently rolling out for his out lap right now.
Yeah, Morris, a very good road course racer. We've seen him in the Superstar Archer Cup Series, and he's won a few races there as well, and he's really good here in this next gen car and just stock cars in general at these road courses.
So you gotta get these tires warmed up, get these tires up to temperature. See, these tires are also gonna be a factor tonight. Over 60 laps, it'll definitely be a factor. These tires will start to get slipping and sliding. The right, especially the front tires will kind of just get really worn down. They'll start to slide everywhere. You can't get under the brakes as good as you used to be later on. So we'll see how the tire wear plays out tonight. But Brock Morris here, lap number 1, doesn't need no care of the tires. We'll see how fast he can go, and can he put it on the pole for DI9 Designs pole qualifying. Hard on the brakes down into turn number 1. He's gonna swing it out to the right hand side. Gonna try and clip a little bit of that left stand curb. Not gonna clip the curb right next to it. Seems to be the faster way around. Coming into the chicane now as he comes down the short chute. And the chicane looks good through the chicane. It's staying off the curb. Sees a little bit of curb there on the right hand side. Down a little short chute into the secondary chicane, into the right-hand carousel. Looking very good for now. Jonathan Parker ran a faster lap time, 59.412, so he's currently on the pole. Can Brock Morris, can he have something to say about it? Is he going to be able to take this pole away? Down out of the hairpin here, coming off the infield. Brock Morris looking like a very solid lap here. Now, can he master these oval corners here? Through oval 3 and 4, looks like a little bit tight, seeing a little bit higher off the curve, but it looks like he's going to get a good launch off of 4. Going to line, Brock Morris, is it going to be enough for the pole? It's going to be a 59.369.
Yes,
top of the board for
will.
Brock Morris.
As 10,000 of a second quicker than Jonathan Parker, very close to the top 3 in qualifying with under 30 seconds left, and that's, I don't believe anyone else on the racetrack. No, they are not. What a qualifying session that was.
Yeah, exciting qualifying session for Brock Morris, but only by the 100th of a second able to beat Jonathan Parker there, and he will be our DI9 Designs Pull Award winner here tonight at the Gateway Road Course. This tonight we have 60 laps for these drivers. Now stages are at 15 and 60, 15 and 30. So no drivers, obviously no cautions, but those drivers can kind of maybe play their strategy around the stages there. We'll see how that plays out for some of these drivers. Now the fuel looking like it's about 40 laps on fuel, so they're gonna have a one-stop race for these drivers. So maybe you could try and pair after about 20 laps. You try and flip that second stage, but we'll see how that plays out. It's not really gonna make a difference, but we'll see how that strategy plays out. But Brock Morris seems to be the one to beat, but we'll see if Jonathan Parker or Matthew O'Brien maybe has something for him while these drivers lining up, getting ready to roll off here for the cut race. We'll see who will make the round of 8. Entering tonight, it was Jonathan Parker on the points lead with a 29-point lead over Kyle Taub. Kyle Taub starting in 5th, but those two seem to be a pretty heavy lock into this into the round of 8, as they are both many points ahead of 8th place, ninth place in the points right now. On the cut line, it was Josh Arnold +2 over Mike Campbell. Mike Campbell sitting in 9th, Giovanni Klein -3 out of -5 out of the cut. So we'll see if Giovanni Klein not here tonight, so it looks like he's not going to be able to make it into the round of 8. Same with Hunter Peach and Nick Hapiak. Neither of those drivers going to be able to make their way into the round of 8. So Mike Campbell, looks like it's going to be between Mike Campbell, Josh Arnold, Donnie Kite tonight, as Zachary Meredith as everyone in the top 5 is at least 20 points ahead of Zachary Meredith. So we'll see how that plays out. Zachary Meredith starting in 12th tonight, so we'll see how he can work his way up through the field. So we're gonna have 2 pace laps here, so we're kind of got a minute or so. We're gonna talk through this playoff, the playoff points here. But entering tonight, Jonathan Parker 29 above Kyle Taub, so he's going to be locked in on points. Kyle Taub 29 points behind. So Mark Kissweather 1 point behind Jonathan Parker. Josh Adams 7 points behind Mark Kissweather. Cole Steiner -2 behind Josh Adams. Zachary Meredith -20 behind Cole Steiner. So it's going to be Zachary Meredith, Donnie Kite, Josh Arnold, and Mike Campbell. They'll be battling for those final 3 spots in the round of 8 here. So Mike Campbell currently 2 points behind Josh Arnold, so he's going to looking to hopefully get a solid run tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do here. Gonna be interesting with no cautions, obviously stages as well, and with 1 pit stop. I mean, the strategy in the stages kind of just probably maintaining your tires, just keeping it underneath you. Back temperature and shouldn't be too hot. Obviously at nighttime here, I think it's early September and sim time. So temperatures shouldn't be too brutal, obviously, here in Illinois, but so making sure the tires are warmed up, all good to go here on these 2 pace laps.
We'll see how these drivers can warm up their tires. We'll see how these drivers can fare on this kind of out laps. Warm up their tires a little bit, maybe attack as much as they can here on lap number 1, try to get some track position. I mean, it might be pretty hard to pass with some of these corners. I think really turn 1 is going to be the way to go. Maybe you can try and get a pass done in the oval, but I don't really see too many passing opportunities. It's going to be really hard to pass in the chicane. Then you can try and get around in that hairpin. But we'll see how that plays out for some of these drivers. But let's take a look at our Gold Card starting lineup here tonight from Gateway. These drivers will take the 1 to go signal this time by Brock Morris on the pole with a 59.402. And Jonathan Parker with a 59.412 will start second tonight. Matthew O'Brien, he'll start third tonight in that 43 machine. The 00 Jonathan Jurgensen will start fourth. Running out the top 5 will be the 3 machine of Kyle Taub. Running out the top 6 will be the 15 of Mark Kissweather. Starting 7th tonight will be the 24 Cole Steiner. Alongside him in the 8th place position will be the 22 of Josh Arnold. And the last driver to set our qualifying time tonight. Starting 9th tonight will be the 12 of Josh Adams. And alongside him running at the top 10 will be the 1 of Hunter Sr. Donnie Kite, he'll start 11th tonight. And Zachary will start 12th. This week 13th will be the 71 of Mike Campbell, as he will round out our 13 car field here tonight at Gateway.
Yeah, both Zachary Meredith and not on the grid currently. So that could be a thing, something to watch out for here. I don't believe he's currently pacing with the field right now. He might be just starting from the pits here at Gateway, but field about to go green, entering onto the main oval on the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4 on the oval, and they're bunching up here 6 rows deep.
These drivers getting ready as we're coming through the hairpin here. So we go off the final chicane, off the final corner, off the oval. As Donnie Kite gonna come to the Brock Morris and Jonathan Parker on the front row. Green flags in the air. We're underway here from Gateway. Down to turn number 1, these drivers still staying side by side. They're 3 wide of the back, middle of the pack there. But up front, it is Brock Morris able to clear for the lead over Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker clear over Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Matthew O'Brien sitting in line as well as they single file out as they go through the chicanes into the carousel. As Parker a little bit wider through the carousel there as Jonathan Jurgensmeyer trying to chase him down. But through the hairpin now, everyone kind of single filed out now. Trying to find their spots. Oh, Josh Adams goes around in the middle of the pack off the hairpin.
It's about going.
Let's take a look at what happened. I wonder if he maybe got a little bit of help there as he's just kind of lost it through.
Just overdrove it, looks like.
Lost
maybe.
the nose and then lost the back end. So just overdrove the corner there for Josh Adams and it goes around.
Got side by side out here for 6. Kissweather and Snyder. This one not the best eggs off of turn 1. Snyder a bit loose, but he stays ahead for now in that 6th place spot, going out into the chicane.
He's going to try and pull away and chase down the 3 machine in front of him, Kyle Taub. As Brock Morris has pulled away to the race lead, but everyone's single file for now. Brock Morris out in the race lead. Jonathan Parker sitting in second. So far, Brock Morris, our race leader, is trying to pull away and put that gap into Jonathan Parker. Looks like he's going to be the dominant car of the beat tonight. Brock Morris looking very strong right now. Currently, he is 59.434 over Jonathan Parker's 59.953. So he's about a couple tenths faster than the rest of the field right now. Everyone kind of pretty spread out already as these drivers are settling in to get a long race here with tonight, 60 laps. This road course is kind of a nice flowy road course. You don't really have any any hard braking zones. I mean, really the hardest one is turn 1, but that's about it. It's kind of a more momentum-based road course. These drivers have to just not make mistakes, just trying to keep the momentum in the race car. It's not really any like heavy hairpins, like kind of like Sonoma turn 11 that you have to worry about like a chicane or really. It's kind of nice and flowy. It's not really any harsh on the tire. I don't think it'd be super harsh on the tires, but keeping a lot of speed through some of these corners could kind of overheat the tires. But these drivers just gotta stay clean tonight and don't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Tonight, kind of this momentum road course is gonna be kind of a really tell of like who doesn't have the momentum, who makes the most mistakes.
Yeah, you just don't want to make mistakes. It's pretty easy to go off the racetrack here. It's all grass, no runoff area, extra pavement really at all. So if you make a mistake, maybe lock up, maybe get a bit loose. I mean, we saw that with Josh Adams already. A little mistake and nowhere really to go. I mean, just grass, all the edges of these corners. So it's gotta be perfect with the flow of the racetrack. And like you mentioned, just a lot of middle speed corners right now, and nothing too crazy heartbreaking. Maybe the first turn and the last turn of the infield road course right here as Brock Morris is going to the last turn of the infield. Probably the hardest braking zone is on the racetrack by far. But then once you get to the oval, I mean, it's pretty much just a normal, obviously, normal 3 and 4 oval, no chicane like the roll or anything like that. But Brock Morris looking pretty good, 1.5 second lead already here. And we're already 5 laps in this run and very quick so far.
Only a minute lap times around this road course. I think it possibly would be a little bit longer, but it is a nice, kind of nice and short. 60 second laps around here, maybe a little bit shorter, just 59. So these drivers looking to probably could be a race against the clock, just trying to get it done under an hour. Or for some of these drivers, that could be a side plot that you kind of look for. But we'll see. But you have to make one pit stop, that will throw a wrench into that plan. So
yeah, and I do wonder if some of these drivers might just take no tires during that pit stop, just to try to save as much time as you can. But I mean, I don't know really how much time that would save. Maybe a few seconds, but a few seconds could make a big difference if you're close enough to the driver in front of you. But and it's quite a ways away. But right out on the board of Matthew O'Brien there, trying to chase down this third place driver of Jurgensmeyer up ahead.
Trying to chase him down, but these drivers, they literally take tires. It's the new tire model, this kind of next gen. This was sort of a big overhaul in June. So these drivers have got a lot of time to get used to it, but the tire were much more prominent on the road course. You'll start to slip and slide around big time. It's going to get hard to kind of hold the grip out of the race car. So these drivers will take tires and top it off on fuel as well. But they'll definitely want to, they'll definitely take tires, but also, you gotta manage those tires a little bit. You don't want to slip too much because you kind of lose that front grip and you'll start to slide out. And so, especially some of these corners, like especially right at this carousel before that final hairpin at the infield, it's like that corner definitely sneaks up on you very quickly. So if you start to lose the front grip and start to drift out of the racetrack, you would easily find yourself in the grass. So you get on the gas a little bit too early. I mean, you could find yourself spinning yourself out. So you gotta be careful a little bit. You don't want to overheat those tires as well.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, just want to keep your tires underneath you, not make any mistakes, and try to just. There's not a lot of great passing opportunities, I would say, as well here. I think you mentioned that before. It's not the easiest place to pass with not a lot of hard braking zones. So maybe just drive in front of you has to make a mistake to get around them. I see these drivers all close to each other, but they just can't really do much with a lot of just kind of fast, slow racetrack.
Drivers getting ready. Just keep rolling. Just to keep that momentum. Right now, Jonathan Marco trying to close the gap down to Brock Morris. He's starting to slowly roll the gap in. These drivers just settled in, just trying to make no mistakes here.
As we go by the go-kart racetrack in the infield there.
Also be kind of an interesting race if we did go to the go-kart track here.
Oh yeah.
With these stock cars, that would be definitely interesting. But you know, it's 9 laps into this one. Brock Morris is kind of putting on a little gap, still about a second ahead of Jonathan Parker. But these drivers about a half a second to a second apart from each other. So Matthew O'Brien working on Jonathan Jurgensmeyer here. He's closing that gap in for this third place spot.
Just so hard to make a move here because you can't really dive bomb, maybe like outbrake someone. There's just isn't enough corners or enough slow corners to do that really. I mean, maybe turn 1 I would say, but I just don't know if O'Brien can get close enough make a kind of a sin in the turn one, as you would call it, and also you also have to factor in the aero tightness that you might get on the oval section in 3 and 4 as well. Probably not the best feeling for that 43 machine in the oval in 3 and 4. I think the main thing about this race, it'll probably be won and lost on pit road and the pit road strategy. As these drivers are still really close together. O'Brien really, I think he might have locked up, or he really was skipping up there.
It looks like he wheel hopped.
Yeah, wheel hopped. Yeah.
Really bumpy. There.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
out wide.
either was bumps out there or just wheel hopped it, but lost a little bit of time. But I mean, these drivers are so close together. I think the pit road strategy is going to be pretty important here tonight. So far, the fall off hasn't really been too severe, maybe a few tenths, but 10 laps in this one. I think Morris is going to try to pull away here in the mid part of this green flag run that they have, or the pit cycle that they have here for the first half of the race.
Yeah, but Parker just not staying too far away. He does definitely have an opportunity. If Morris will make a mistake, definitely close the gap in, try and make an attack somewhere. But as we mentioned, this is like you kind of have to try and make some momentum somewhere, trying to get a move done. It's kind of very hard to kind of set up a pass. You can't really. There's not really any hard braking zones. You have to try and get a run somewhere to try and chase down the driver in front of you. Or try and get by them.
As O'Brien, really good run there on Jurgensmeyer into the chicane. Lost a little bit of time off the exit though. See what he can do here down into the final corner of the infield. How late on the brakes will he be? Looks like Jurgensmeyer trying to focus a little bit on exit. Got a little bit of a bad entry. He gets a really good exit here onto the oval. He pulls a little bit of a gap here on O'Brien. And O'Brien now attack down in turn number 1.
Gotta get to the oval 3 and 4 here. Could be a little bring a factor there. But down the front straightaway now, it's hard onto the brakes in turn number 1. Gonna try and send it deep here. The sure tire looks like he overstrode it a little bit. It allows for Brian to kind of close the gap in just a little bit. Now see the chicane as you look at these curves.
Yeah, not so much lights in the infield right in this section, so it's not the easiest place to see those curves, but flipping them definitely helps make the car rotate a little bit more. But Jurgensmeyer seems like he may have worn out his tires just a little bit more than O'Brien possibly. Is O'Brien able to really send it in deep when they enter the corners and see good exit here maybe? You see he's even with them, he getting about a 10th that in the infield. Can he maintain that gap down in turn 1? Maybe make a move here. Focus on the exit here in turn 4. A little bit of a throttle control there, but looks like Jurgensmeyer gets a better exit off of turn 4 there. Oval turn 4.
Right now, Jurgensmeyer looks like he's maybe running a little bit higher up on the racetrack, maybe maximizing those exits as best as he can. So O'Brien, he really can't get a good run right now. Maybe try to make a move into the corner. He's trying to close that gap down. He's also trying to chase down Jonathan Parker. They're trying to chase down Brock Morris. Brock Morris has pulled away by another second, so now he's up to about 1.7 seconds as the race leader. But he's got a train behind him if he does make any mistake. But here comes O'Brien, staying a little bit wider, trying to tighten this exit up. Maybe try and get a better run off this corner. The hard of the brakes into the hairpin. He's closing the gap in. He's all on the back bumper of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but can he get the exit off the corner? Oh, get a little wiggle there, but he's going to hold on to it. Stay it down into turn oval 3 and 4 now. Jurgensmeyer stays a little bit higher up the racetrack. O'Brien closer to that rumble strip down on the inside of the corner. Close the gap down into turn 1 hard on the brakes. So Brian seems like what Jurgen's arm was doing. Now he's trying to stay a little bit wider, trying to get a better exit on Jurgen's trying to make an opportunity. Also, pit road can be a way how this pass is made. This fuel window probably opens about 5 more laps or so, but also at the end of this lap, stage 1 will end. Rock Morris also picks up a little bit extra stage points. Jurgen's could also need these stage points. You can use these a little bit. Alright, well, Jonathan Parker can easily use these stage points. O'Brien's right behind Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. So Brian's going to stay way up the racetrack here. He's going to try and cut down, get a late apex through off of turn 4. We'll see how that's going to work for him. He's got a really good run here off the oval turn 4.
There's a little bit of draft as well. Will he make a move?
Not close enough to make a move into 1.
Oh.
He's going to really close that gap down. He's going to be right on that back bumper, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but he's hunting that back bumper. He's looking to make a move. He's going to try and get the run off turn number 1. Can't do it though. Jurgensmeyer pulls away just by a little bit now through the chicane. Oh, but Jurgensmeyer really attacks that curb there. Could upsets the race car just a little bit. Through the carousel now. So Brian sets up wide, gonna get right on the back bumper. Jurgensmeyer here off the exit. Now down into the hairpin.
He's looking to the inside.
Down to the bottom. The peak to the bottom, side by side here through the hairpin. It looks like Jurgensmeyer just can't get the grip on the outside. And O'Brien will take that spot away. He'll take third place away from Jurgensmeyer.
Now he's going to try to chase down Jonathan Parker, but Parker, he's been kind of just maintained with the Morris right now. About 1 to 1.5 seconds has been the gap between those two the whole race, pretty much. I mentioned this before. I think the pit stop is going to be very important for these drivers. They have already fallen off about half a second to a second a lap compared to their fastest lap time. So the tire fall off, not too severe, but I mean, if you pit 1 lap before, you can make up a second possibly, or more even, on those trusted tires. And also clean air as well.
Should try an undercut, especially for Jonathan Parker. That could work out for him. Just a little earlier, gets out in front, knowing that it's going to be hard to pass. So they come down pit road. Get out, get some track position. Pit road not open yet. Probably right anywhere under 40 laps to go. Would be the window to try and come down pit road. Jonathan Parker is getting closed down a little bit by O'Brien. O'Brien's about half a tenth quicker, but also O'Brien is Parker closed the gap down to Morris, down back to 1.2 seconds. So he's keeping him honest a little bit. Morris can't make mistakes. He's got to be perfect. He can't be lazy making mistakes. He's got to drive focus. He's got to stay in it. Last time by Morris ran a 1 minute 1.107, and Jonathan Parker with a minute 0.312, so he's a little bit slower. And O'Brien with a minute 0.197, so Ryan is a little bit quicker than Parker right now, so he's trying to close the gap in as well. He's a little bit farther back, and I see he goes really wide there through the carousel, but actually might worked out for him.
Yeah, kind of a late apex there.
So swinging out very wide through the carousel to Jonathan Parker. Goes to the hairpin. He's closing the gap down a little bit, just not to a second. A second between each driver right now. For these top 3. Brock Morris, though, he's good, starting to feel the pressure a little bit. As Parker kind of closes the gap in through the center, through the infield, especially through some of these hairpins, but kind of extends back out on the oval. Last time I had Morris in a .123 and Parker at a .120. So these drivers are pretty much very, very similar on these lap times. Very even lap times between these top three. As this time by, it was 1 minute .504 for Morris, so 1 minute .195 for Parker, so about 4 tenths quicker, and O'Brien was a minute .646, so a little bit slower than both of them. Back at the line last time, that was a 1.142. And now we're in that pit window here, 40 laps to go. Like Parker seems to close the gap a little bit through the hairpin, through the carousel. That seems to be where Parker's strong suit is, but that's definitely going to be one of the harder places to pass. Oh, but he gets really loose off the hairpin, and I think that's kind of where one of his trouble corners are, is kind of the exit of the hairpin. He loses the gap through the exit of the hairpin.
We'll see. I mean, right now the tires have worn out quite a bit from these drivers, about 1 second off the pace. Compare their fast lap time, as that time by fastest driver on the racetrack was Brock Morris, who's 3 tenths quicker than Jonathan Parker. And I think that one mistake, as you can see, all these drivers are within 5 seconds of each other, so they're very close. If one driver makes a mistake, they could go from wherever position they're at all the way down to 5th place pretty quickly. So, I mean, just cannot make a major mistake here, like go off the racetrack, lock up, or get too out of shape, or these drivers behind are ready to pounce pretty quickly in your rearview mirror.
Jonathan Parker, he's closing that gap down through the carousel. And last lap, he got a little bit loose off the hairpin, getting back onto the oval, and he lost about half a second just doing that, just a couple tenths, and that just starts to add a little bit. Especially put a little bit extra heat into your tires, that can make it a little bit tougher to navigate through the rest of the next lap. As right there, Parker was about a tenth slower than Brock Morris. O'Brien was about a tenth slower than 2 tenths slower than Parker. So O'Brien also closed the gap a little bit, try to close the gap a little bit, but right now he's holding on to that 3rd place spot. But if Jonathan Parker catches Brock Morris, then they start the battle a little bit. But O'Brien could definitely be another challenger for this win. The question is, when do we see pit stops, as the pit window is open? Well, he suspects maybe these drivers are probably going to get into stage 2. They want to get a little bit extra stage points.
Altada has moved himself into the picture here as well. And just sneaky there in 5th place, hasn't really been started 5th, is stayed in 5th. Actually, the top 6 have all started in that same position. No one has moved inside the top 6. I mean, we saw the pass for O'Brien and Jurgensmeyer, but also it looks like Jurgensmeyer might be paying this time by. Yes, he is. Here in lap 24.
Well, you see, maybe he takes tires here. Only a second fall off. I mean, he could maybe try and take 2 tires, or maybe none. So, I mean, not as much fall off as I expected would be. I mean, I thought it's maybe about a 1.5 to 2 seconds fall off, but we're only about a second fall off, really.
Yeah, I think that might be just because of the nighttime. I mean, you never really run a NASCAR race, a road course NASCAR race at night. So, I mean, that could also be a factor why the fall off isn't as much as you would think. We'll see what he does here. Looks like right side's going up. Will we see the left sides? I mean, and yes, we do. So it's 4 tire stop for that 00 machine. And also Hunter Sr. also bringing down Pillion as well. He actually, I believe, retires the car in that one machine.
And also, let's take a look at kind of the weather while we were just mentioning the tire wear in the nighttime. Is the track temp is 81 degrees, so pretty cold track out there with 79-degree ambient temperature, and pretty much no wind. It is pretty humid out there though, 83% humidity, but
Yeah, a bunch of
yeah,
cornfields there in
cold.
Illinois.
Pretty cold. Not really any tire fall off too much, but Jersmeyer did come down pit road. He lost about 15 seconds at least off that first lap, but he is going through the hairpin right now, and Brock Morris is going through the carousel. So you lose almost about 3/4 of a lap down pit road. So we'll see. If he was a few seconds back, maybe with these four fresh tires, maybe he can gain maybe 2 or 3 seconds. If he stays out another 2 or 3 laps or so, we'll see if he can close the gap. But I have to keep an eye on his lap times. Brock Morris still stays out on the racetrack. Jonathan Parker as well. Matthew O'Brien. So those are the three we're really kind of keeping an eye on. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, though, was sitting in 4th when he pitted.
And lap traffic here of Mark Kissenweather. Well, it's not really lap traffic, I guess, but...
Marcus Weather a little bit wider, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just trying to set some quick lap times here. He's going to get by Mark Kissenweather, and that's actually going to hold him up a little bit. They're just going to stay side by side.
Oh, you got
He's
battle.
actually 5th on track, so he only lost 2 spots, but he stays to the outside here. Now he's going to try and cross back under. It's not going to help.
Oh, Kissenweather!
Oh, Kissenweather goes around off the hairpin. A little bit loose, trying to stay out in front of Jurgensmeyer. Another thing here for Brock Morris, he's actually in some lap traffic as well.
And Donnie Kite.
Donnie Kite, Josh Arnold.
Those Morris got a bit loose there. Probably the first mistake we've seen Morris make all night, really. Or at least big mistake, you could say. And also, how will that do affect him?
Wide there. You know, that machine's really going to win wide there, so they're trying to get a really late apex, trying to get as much runoff off the oval turn 4 as possible. Now, Brock Morris, how much is he going to get held up by these lap machines?
Parker's closing.
Could take an opportunity in the pit as well.
Donnie Kite can move out of the way.
Jurgensmeyer not really closing in much with those fresh tires.
Yeah, we'll see what he does here with some clean air. I mean, that lap he was kind of held up by Kissenweather just a little bit, but he's still about half a second quicker than Brock Morris that time, so it's Morris still navigating this lap traffic.
Donnie Kite holding up Brock Morris. Jonathan Parker really closing the gap in. As now he's going to lock up a little. He's going to lock the left front up a little bit. He's going to have to stand to the inside of Josh Arnold, and he's going to have to choke up his exit a little bit. Same with Jonathan Parker. Now, Jonathan Parker, though, it kind of hurt the exit a little bit more. They're both going to stay out on the racetrack. No one comes out pit road. O'Brien stays out as well as he got held up by a kite. We'll see Morris stay out of the racetrack. Still about a second gap to Jonathan Parker in second. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer last time was a 59.559, so he is closing the gap in. If these guys stay out a little bit too long, Jurgensmeyer could have an opportunity to jump Brock Morris, but we could also see some of these drivers, maybe this is only about a second fall off, they could just not take tires at all. They just maybe take fuel only, but we'll see. But they are coming to the end of stage 2 next time by. Jonathan Parker could use that extra bonus point for the playoffs here.
Yeah, Brock Morris not in the playoff fight, so it doesn't really matter to him too much. But Parker, I don't know if he's really close enough to really challenge. He's kind of now backed off after Morris got by those lap cars. Let's come to the white flag of stage 2 this time by. Can Morris sweep the stages here tonight?
Looks like he will. He has a little bit of a gap now as maybe tries to stay out. This extra stage when they'll probably pit now. I expect these drivers to probably split this race in half. It's probably the best idea for them. But Jonathan Jurgensmeyer last time by a minute flat, so looking like he can gain that gap a little bit. As Jurgensmeyer is about 39 seconds back. So we'll see. Maybe he could jump these drivers, and it's going to be kind of hard to pass. So we could see Jonathan Jernsmeyer maybe make a pretty good strategy call there. How much will the time disadvantage mean? But O'Brien, he'll come down pit road though. As he comes down pit road, but Brock Morris off the final corner here. He will take stage 2. You probably expect him to pit next time by. Now, will Jonathan Jernsmeyer, will he jump Matthew O'Brien? So we'll see how this plays out. So Matthew O'Brien down pit road. He'll take, it looks like he's going to take 4 tires. Oh no, he takes 2. He takes 2. He rolls out of the box there. So 2 tires for Matthew O'Brien. Interesting call. We'll see how that plays out. Jonathan Jernsmeyer will not catch him. So not much tire wear. So maybe just 2 tires is all these drivers will need. Brock Morris though, he'll come down pit road for the race lead. So diving onto the access road, Jonathan Parker, he'll take the race lead for the first time tonight. Now where will Brock Morris cycle out to? Will O'Brien, will this 2-tire strategy call work out for him? I think it will though. Oh, Jernsmeyer spinning into the carousel! Jernsmeyer goes wide, gets a little bit of the grass there. Luckily able to save it pretty well, but he does lose some time. Got really loose. Slid out under the grass. As that'll lose him some time. At least a second or 2 there for Jonathan Jernsmeyer. Notice O'Brien, where does he cycle out to compared to Brock Morris? Brock Morris took 2 tires as well. Same with Mark Kisswither. But Brock Morris, he will stay out on the racetrack. He will take 2 tires, so O'Brien will not catch him. And what about Jonathan Parker? Jonathan Parker's still staying out of the racetrack. Actually, no, he'll come down pit road. Jonathan Parker will come down pit road. Now this is the battle you want to watch between Brock Morris and Jonathan Parker.
Last of the field so far. Good pit road entry looks like. No speed penalty for that 48 machine. There's a gap.
Now Brock Morris, he only took fuel only, and that was actually just only a little bit quicker than 2 tires. So O'Brien does have fresher tires behind. He could catch Morris. We'll see. Jonathan Parker though down into the box.
There's Morris coming off turn 4 on the oval. Parker taking right side tires at least.
2 tires here for Jonathan Parker.
It's gonna be 4 tires.
2, 6, 4. So 4 tires for Jonathan Parker. Now does he come out in front of Jonathan Jernsmeyer?
I don't know if he will.
Yes, he will. He will. Jonathan Jernsmeyer a little bit slower, as he did make that mistake. Jonathan Parker on 4 tires. He's going to try to chase down Matthew O'Brien and Brock Morris. Brock Morris is the race leader, but he did not take tires. He just took fuel only. So the fall off not enough for him to take at least 2 tires. Matthew O'Brien is second on 2 tires. Quick. He is really closing that gap down. And Jonathan Parker on 4 tires is a little bit farther back. He's sitting 3rd. And Jonathan Jernsmeyer appeared much earlier. He's sitting back and 4th. So he's got the older 4 fresh tires compared to Brock Morris and Jonathan Parker.
I think with 20 laps to go, I mean, based off the fall off, I think Parker can definitely catch up to Brock Morris. But I think the main target might be O'Brien here, Matthew O'Brien, and see if he can do something here on these right side only tires. I mean, he seems a little bit quicker than Brock Morris, almost a second quicker last time by. Maybe Morris's tires are still trying to heat up here. Or I guess, not even heat up, they were already heated up. But O'Brien, you're really quick right now. He's on the back bumper of Morris big time.
Yeah, it looks like 2 tires was the call. It just gives you a little bit fresher tires. And you didn't have to lose any time there. You should take 2 tires and still have enough fuel to take enough fuel. You already got to take enough fuel. So 2 tires seem to be the faster call. And O'Brien's closing the gap into Brock Morris. But how can Brock Morris defend this? We'll see if O'Brien, he did already make 1 pass. Jonathan Jernsmeyer early in the race. So we'll see if he can close the gap down. right there, but if these two get battling really hard, that could allow Jonathan Parker and Jonathan Zershard to close the gap in as well. Brock Morris on the older tires, he's just going to try and stay out in front. It's still O'Brien's tires starting to wear out a little bit.
Good
run down the front straightaway into turn number 1 here.
Watch for the crossover move here, maybe in the turn 1. It looks like Morris may have to finish a little bit in the turn 1. There's O'Brien all of his back bumper right now.
Yeah, it looks like just Morris with the older tires just can't get the grip through the corner. He can't get on the gas earlier through the center, through the exit of the corners. That's just hurting him there. Is O'Brien right on the back bumper, but it's just these corners right here. Morris, he just doesn't have the grip in the tires. He's got to wait. He's got to wait a little bit on it. He's got to wait on it a little bit to get back on the throttle. It's just enough for O'Brien to maybe get a run off the corner, but
it's one thing
Morris,
to catch him, another thing to pass.
Even in the braking zones, we'll see O'Brien on the back bumper, but can he find a way by? He's going to stay a little bit higher here through the oval. We're going to try and get a run down to the 1.
He does have a run. Here he comes. Morris going to defend, though.
With a good run, Morris going to go block to the bottom, but O'Brien is there. They're going to make contact. O'Brien's going to back off early. Down to the turn 1. Does Morris overshoot? He drives it in. Looks a little deep into the corner. He's going to go wide off into the grass. He's going to keep it out of the tire barrier, bro. O'Brien is going to take the race lead.
What a battle that was, and I think the 2-tire call was the right call here. Also, Jonathan Parker, with those two battling pretty hard, he gained about 2 seconds there. And there's still 25 laps skill left in this race. So Jonathan Parker definitely not out of it quite yet, but I think Morris regretting that no-tire call.
And that's going to shake up a lot of things. Is now O'Brien with a really big gap over to Jonathan Parker. It's over 5 seconds, and I don't think that tire difference is really going to make a difference. As 2 tires was the fastest call on pit road, and I think the fastest tire on pit road on the racetrack, it's not really much faster. So O'Brien with a really good strategy call. Now Jonathan Parker, he's going to get by Brock Morris now. How quick can he get by Brock Morris and maybe try and chase down the race leader Matthew J. O'Brien? But down to turn 1. Morris holds on to second as Brock Morris looks really tail happy there as that rear end of the race car wants to spin out of turn number 1. Now through the carousel. So now out of the turn 7 of the carousel into turn 6 of the hairpin here, with Brock Morris still out in front of Jonathan Parker as we go into the oval, which will be 7 and 8 on the racetrack. And into oval 3 and 4 as Jonathan Parker is just wrapping the bottom here, wrapping that curve. Really good run on Brock Morris. He's going to get to the inside, going to go side by side here for seconds. This is holding up for Jonathan Parker. This is not good for Parker, but he's going to drive into the inside of Brock Morris side by side into turn 1. Brock Morris is going to slide out the racetrack a little bit, but he's going to stay on the racetrack, but Jonathan Parker will sneak through on the bottom. He will take the second spot away. Now he tries to chase down the race leader, Matthew O'Brien, but Matthew O'Brien side by side with Donnie Kite on the lap machine. Kite fighting for the lead lap as Matthew O'Brien just trying to stay up as they make a little bit of contact. This is going to help Jonathan Parker close the gap in as O'Brien trying to get by the lap machine of Donnie Kite.
Donnie Kite not making it easy at all right now, but there goes O'Brien. The inside, he clears down onto the back straightaway. And
Here
now
by Donnie
3.
Kite, he's trying to just stay on the lead lap. He's fighting for a playoff spot. He's trying to fight to stay in the top 8. To race for a championship. So Donnie Kite, he wants to try and stay on the lead lap. He's got Josh Arnold behind him, but Marcus with 7 laps behind. Josh Adams, Cole Steiner, Zach and Meredith, and Mike Gamble did not start. So it looks like Donnie Kite probably is safe in. Doesn't want to take any chances. Last time by O'Brien within 1 minute 1.420, and Jonathan Parker at 59.747. So the gap is now 4.3 seconds. For Matthew O'Brien, but Matthew O'Brien locks up. He goes wide, has to lock up to keep it out of the grass. That's going to cost him more time, and Donnie Kite's going to get back by him. So maybe Matthew O'Brien may be making a few mistakes here now. Donnie Kite goes wide.
Oh, is he gonna hit the tires? No, he keeps off the tire barriers, but there goes Parker through easily. As now they got 2.5 seconds now for Jonathan Parker, and it's 21 laps to go. I definitely think he can catch up to O'Brien here in these next 21 laps.
Yeah, I think he can too, but O'Brien, maybe the 2 tires, wonder if that maybe was a 2-tire mistake or just trying to stay out in front, doesn't want to lose any more time as he just lost a little bit of time trying to battle with Donnie Kite, but about another 1.5 seconds lost, maybe 2 seconds for O'Brien. But now he's going to try and hold on to the race lead. You know, the battle's out on the racetrack currently as these drivers, Kyle Taub and Brock Morris actually. Kyle Taub now, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Kyle Taub actually got by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer for that 4th place spot. For Brock Morris here. Try to hold on as he took no tires, and that seems to be the wrong pit call.
Yeah, if he can try and hang on the 4th place, that's gonna be tough. He might fall back down to 5th. I mean, I was on this earlier. The top 5 are so close together that one mistake can cost you dearly here, and looks like our race leader gonna fall down to 5th place here shortly. Is he gonna stop the inside down the front straightaway and most likely gonna get by in turn 1? And it looks like Morse kind of let him by there in the turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like the tires it was only about a second fall off. He thought maybe 2 tires would be better. I think it was a call, but I think now it's just no tires. The tires are really starting to fall off after about 30 laps, and especially 40 now. And then Brock Morris is struggling out there.
Unfortunate there, because it would have been a great battle between him, O'Brien, and Parker for the top step. But Morris probably mostly got to settle for a 5th place finish, which I'm sure he's disappointed at right now. But it's still 20 laps to go. A lot can happen, but most you'd have to have probably the top 4 wreck out here for Morris to have a chance at this win. And meanwhile, up front, Parker slowly but surely closing that gap down here to O'Brien. 19 laps to go this time by. Gap 1.7, and Parker was about 4 tenths quicker last time by.
And actually, Brock Morris, he's coming down pit road again, and actually he's just calling it a night. He's pitting, and he's going to call it a night there for Brock Morris, so his night will be over. That's an extra spot for Donnie Kite and Josh Arnold, so that's going to help them again in the playoffs here. But Jonathan Parker trying to close it in, as he will no doubt be the point leader once again here at the end of this race. He's going to try and race for another championship. The next round definitely going to be another challenge, as next round has Talladega to open it up next week, so that's definitely going to be kind of a wild card race, and much bad can happen at Talladega next week.
And then you have Legacy Atlanta and Kansas. Legacy Atlanta, very fun racetrack with the tire wear, and Kansas always puts on usually a good show here.
I've seen Kansas before. And normally the other tracks we've been to twice this season. One was before the update, and one was after the major update with next gen. But Kansas was after the major update, so we do have kind of a benchmark of what's going to happen at Kansas. And kind of see a really solid benchmark. But the next Kansas race, 3 weeks time, is a little bit longer than that one we had earlier this summer, though. Early in the summer it was 116 laps, and 3 weeks time it's 128, so the drivers have a little bit extra strategy to kind of use out a little bit there. Also, we'll see Michigan and Bristol again as well, so and Charlotte.
So the whole championship rounds all racetracks that we have seen before.
Two of those, all of those being, 2 of those being before the update, so it could be different between Charlotte and Michigan.
Yeah.
We see those again, but we will see Bristol. We did see Bristol back in July, so that will be kind of what we'll see. Kind of go back and look at that and kind of see how that plays out. But also, all those races just a little bit longer than what they were earlier this summer. So.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, Charlotte's way shorter, but the other 2 just a little bit longer. Nothing too crazy, just a few laps here and there, but. Charlotte about 70 laps shorter compared to the long one we had in May, the 200 lapper there, which was the longest race of the season. But either way, I mean, Charlotte always, usually, I mean, at least in real life, probably the best 1.5 mile track maybe on the circuit. But right now, Jonathan Parker, 1 second is the gap between him and Matthew O'Brien. And with 16 laps to go, I don't know if O'Brien can hang on for 16 laps and keep Jonathan Parker at bay. We'll see what happens when Jonathan Parker catches up to him. And like I mentioned before, it's one thing to pass, it's another, or it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. Especially here at Gateway. We may have to use a bumper here, possibly, for Jonathan Parker.
Jonathan Parker closing the gap down on those newer tires. He's got 4 fresh tires compared to O'Brien's 2. Remember, there's 15 to go. Parker is closing the gap down, looking to try and pick up another win. O'Brien trying to pick up his first win. We'll see how well those 2 tires will hold off.
Oh, Parker losing! Parker spins! Jonathan Parker
spins
around!
off the hairpin, and that's going to be major time loss. And wow, Jonathan Parker was closing the gap down, and that's probably going to cost it. I don't really see him catching all that time back up again unless O'Brien makes a similar mistake. Big mistake there off the hairpin.
Let's go on board here with Jonathan Parker.
Oh, clipped a little bit curb down there, got loose, getting back on the throttle.
Yeah,
and now he's under attack from Kyle Taub, so...
Yeah, his left side's maybe just, yeah, he just clipped the curb. I think it just got him just enough sideways there, and around he goes. And yeah, he'll have to gain about half a second, a little bit less than half a second a lap, which I just don't think that's going to be possible unless O'Brien makes another one of those mistakes he made earlier. But man, that was shaping up to be a good battle for the race win. But O'Brien just has to stay on the racetrack, I think, and not make any too major mistakes, and maybe cruise to victory here at Gateway. But you don't want to be, knock on wood, you don't want to be too certain about that. But still got 14 laps to go, so a lot can still happen. But we'll see if Parker can rebound and maybe close the gap, maybe put O'Brien just under a little bit of pressure, you know. All it takes is a little pressure and you can make someone overdrive a corner big time. But last time by there, Parker was actually a second quicker, so this race might not be over quite yet. Parker kind of playing some lap times right now. Probably driving a little angry as well with himself.
Yeah, you know what, Jonathan Parker, when he's got time to make up, he will put the pedal to the metal and try and make up that time. And actually, it was just behind Jonathan Parker. Kyle Taub just throughputs from the session. Really unfortunate for Kyle Taub, so that will give Jonathan Jurgensmeyer an extra spot. Unfortunate for Kyle Taub, he was having a really solid run tonight.
Yeah, so he's got to drop down to 7th place there. So gonna lose 4 positions, but unfortunately, as Hunter Sr. back on the racetrack right now, trying to gain some positions. He's able to move himself up to 7th place if he stays on the racetrack. He'll be able to get around Morris, and I don't believe you won't be able to get around Taub. So Taub is guaranteed at least 6th place at this point. Parker this time by was pretty much even with O'Brien up ahead, but O'Brien catching up some lap traffic. I think that's not sure who that is. That might be it's Josh Arnold there. Not sure if Arnold will really put up too much of a fight. He's already 1 lap down, but he is trying to catch up to Donnie Kite up ahead up the road, and he is doing so. He's only 3 seconds back from the 5th place driver of Donnie Kite.
Jonathan Parker is trying to close the gap in now, but yeah, but unfortunate for Kyle Taub. He was actually having a really solid night. He's running in 3rd on the racetrack, and now that's good. He's still sitting in 4th as Donnie Kite is trying to catch back up, but that will be an extra point for Donnie Kite and Josh Arnold, which will be a really good help for those drivers. But luckily for Kyle Taub, he had a pretty big points buffer, so he doesn't have to do any work. It doesn't have to worry about getting knocked out or anything of the top 8, as he had a really big gap over the rest of the other playoff drivers. And I think really the only playoff driver that could knock anybody out tonight was Mike Campbell. Mike Campbell did not even take the grid, so Mike Campbell did join the session, but he decided not to run at all. So the top 8 is to be pretty much locked in for the rest of the playoffs here. So But there could have been a few extra playoff points, but there really wasn't much out there for Kyle Topp tonight anyways. But just unfortunately, that could have been really good night, good momentum that could have built him kind of into those rest of these races throughout the season. That would have been kind of good momentum to build, especially after good finish after good finish. Just unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, though, Jonathan Parker trying to close that gap back in as he is closing it down. He's about a half second faster.
7/10 that time. This race is not over. I may have jinxed Matthew O'Brien there, but 4.4 seconds is a gap, and he's catching lap traffic as well, which, I mean, at best, the lap traffic will get out of the way, but at worst, it could slow him down maybe half a second or so. But, Parker, I mean, really putting those lap times now, gap 4 seconds is, man, this race, coming to 10 laps to go, this one's going to be interesting. But also remember, Parker does have 4 tires compared to O'Brien's 2, so that could play a factor as, I mean, those left side tires getting a little worn as well.
I think O'Brien, like, he's got the older tires, it's starting to hurt him, and Parker's really pushing those 4 tires. You think after those kind of spin, it could put a little bit of hurt into those tires. May probably hurt him, but he is trying to close the gap, and he's about a half second faster per lap, even with the 4 fresh tires. So you can tell he's heavily pushing, trying to get back to O'Brien. But maybe that spin kind of made this a little bit more interesting because now he can chase him down. It looks like he's a little faster right now. Last time by, O'Brien 3.31 to Parker's 3.37. So Parker was just a half a hundredth slower than O'Brien. But O'Brien, though, he does have some lap traffic he has to get through. And Donnie Kite, looking to go another lap down, he knows he's also fighting with Josh Arnold here, so he doesn't want to give up too much time trying to let O'Brien by. See how hard Arnold and Kite will fight, as there's only 6 cars out of the racetrack, but Arnold and Kite, they're fighting for 4th after Tobb has left, and actually Jurgensmeyer still sitting in 3rd. The Kite now in 4th, but
Josh Arnold is catching up to Don Kite as well. So these two are fighting for on position right in front of our race leader. This could really shake things up as Parker, another great lap there, 4 tenths quicker. He's down 3.7 over behind Matthew O'Brien. So he needs to gain about 4 tenths a lap, and lap traffic not helping out O'Brien at all, as side by side with Josh Arnold, as Donnie Kite also should join the picture here as well, as things are getting interesting here with 8.5 laps to go.
As O'Brien, he's trying to get by Arnold, and Arnold will let him go. But now how hard will Kite fight? We saw last time Kite was kind of fighting hard. He wanted to stay on the lead lap. We'll see now that he's 1 lap down. We'll see how hard he fights, but he does have Josh Arnold fighting for position behind him. So how much will Kite fight to try and get stay in front of O'Brien? Because he knows O'Brien's going to be a very valuable car between him and Arnold for this battle. So we'll see how hard he fights. Last time by, though, O'Brien did run a 1 minute 1.825. He had to get by Arnold, so it looked like Arnold got out of the way pretty quickly, but it did slow him down about a second and a half compared to Parker. So can O'Brien hold on for another 8 laps? He does have the tire disadvantage, but Parker did overheat his tires a little bit earlier. Can he hold on? Can he eke every little bit of life out of these tires to try and chase down O'Brien for the race lead? Kite's still staying out in front. He's pretty much even. O'Brien pretty much even between Kite and Arnold right now. Jonathan Parker trying to close the gap in. Kite will stay out of the way. Actually, he's stay up the higher. He's going to try and get a run up the corner. So he gets out of the way, but also tries to maximize that corner run. But this is also the battle for 4th right here between Arnold and Kite. So these guys get battling and kind of your roadblock for Parker. This could hurt Parker as well. As Arnold, he's really closing the gap in on Donnie Kite here.
There's kind of 2 battles on the racetrack here right now, as Parker 2 seconds back from O'Brien with 7 laps to go. It's kind of go time for him. He needs to gain around 3 tenths a lap. And at this pace, he is doing it, but he needs just a little bit more help from the lap traffic as Arnold gets out of the way. That's 1 driver out of the way for him. Will K also get out of the way here?
So Arnold gets out of the way, so they're being respectful to the leaders, getting out of the way as Kite's trying to hold on to Arnold, but Parker's trying to chase it down O'Brien, and
What?
Parker loses the nose a little bit on the entry there. Oh, and he loses it a little bit off exit as well, so you can tell he is pushing every little bit out of those tires he's got. He's trying to chase down O'Brien here. This time by, they're coming to 6 laps to go, and Parker is just about 2 seconds back.
Parker look to the inside, his gap down 1.5. He's definitely in range if he can get by Donnie Kite. Will Kite let him by? I'd assume he will. He looks.
Say hi here.
He's gonna say hi.
Google 3 and 4. So this is 7 and 8 on the racetrack, and he'll actually get up. So he got out of the way for Parker.
As
Parker's
about.
still about a couple tenths faster than O'Brien. We'll see this time by O'Brien with a 1 minute 1.003, and Parker there with a 1 minute 499. So he's about a half second faster than last time by. He's trying to close the gap to O'Brien. It's about the gap he needs here with 5 laps to go. It's going to be tough to close this gap in, but getting there's one thing and passing is another. He looks like he overdrives the chicane a little bit.
He lost
the curb.
That's one mistake he did not need to make. We'll see how much affects him there. Looks like he lost.
He's got the tire advantage, so
tenths.
he's just naturally gaining time, but he just needs to not be making big mistakes. You see the gap coming down under 2 seconds, still hovering around 2 seconds here as they exit the hairpin. The Parker needs to just not spin like he did before. You can tell that those rear tires on that race car is really overheated. He's trying to keep as much grip as he can. 4 to go this time by O'Brien. That time, minute .639. Jonathan Parker, minute .1059. So slower for Parker. But he's trying to make the time back up. The gap slowly coming down. He's down to 2.1 that last time by. Now this corner, the chicane, Parker's been overdriving, trying to get as much out of it as he can. Doesn't want to overdrive it this time, stays right, nice and tidy to the curb. He has the advantage already. He just has to stay clean. You see the gap closing down between those drivers this time by. 3 laps to go. Parker has enough pace to get there if he just stays mistake-free. O'Brien needs to stay mistake-free as well. It's going to be hard to pass here for Parker, though. But he's got to get to O'Brien.
3 laps to go this time by. Parker with the fresher tires. Can he do it?
That's time by O'Brien, minute .586. And Jonathan Parker, minute .162. The gap is closing. It's still about 3 to 4 tenths advantage for Parker if they both make no mistakes. 3 to go. The gap is closing at the line. It was a 1.725. It's not enough for Parker mathematically right now, but if O'Brien makes a mistake,
I mean, Parker
can get there.
He just needs to be close. He doesn't have to be past him. He just has to be probably within half a second to really put the pressure on for O'Brien. So I think right now he's in a good spot right now. I mean, he's done all he could. He's made a few mistakes, but he rebounded from those mistakes, and he has a chance here late. That lap, not really great. He didn't really gain too much time there on O'Brien. We'll see what he does here through 3 and 4, NASCAR 3 and 4. And it looks like he didn't really gain much time at all that time. Only less than a second. Or a tenth, excuse me.
Tenth,
but
right?
yeah.
Just about a tenth there for Jonathan Parker. Is a 1 minute 4 to a 1 minute 5. 1 minute 0.4 to 1 minute 0.5. So only about a tenth for Parker there. As I think he kind of messed up that chicane, that first chicane again. So he just went through it there, but he's closing it down by coming to the white flag. O'Brien looking very strong.
As Parker maybe we're shot a little bit. No, perfect there for that corner. He's gained five a second right there. We'll see what we can do on
Coming
this.
through turn 6 of the hairpin. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna. O'Brien needs to make no mistakes here, and Parker needs to send every little corner he's got. No mistakes. O'Brien really going up the racetrack here through the oval, trying to diamond the oval corner there of 7 and 8. It's actually gonna give him a little bit of an advantage, but the gap there last time by 1:07.52 for O'Brien, 1:19.0 for Jonathan Parker. It's our go time cards, 1 to go here for the Gateway Road Course. Does he have enough to get to O'Brien? He's just about a second back. It's coming to the final time of the chicane. He's gonna have one more time through the carousel, but it's gonna be a really big ask to try and get there through
O'Brien
the carousel one more time.
chicane.
Parker is closing.
This
He
is
should
really
have
his
set it
last
up
effort right
wide,
here.
trying to get a run.
This could be his
He's
last
gonna try to
chance.
run the carousel. Can he get a run through the hairpin? If he gets a good exit of the hairpin, does he have an opportunity to get through the oval corners, oval 3 and 4, through the hairpin? Parker hugs that inside curb off the exit of the hairpin for the final time. Parker looks like he doesn't have enough of a run. O'Brien just staying just far and out in front. He's going to have enough to hold on through oval 3 and 4 off the final corner. O'Brien on the 2-tire call. It's going to work out. Matthew J. O'Brien will win at the Gateway Road Course as Parker will come up just short and he'll pick up second.
What a finish there. I just did not think Jonathan Parker was going to have enough time to close that gap down, but he did as much as he could, just came up just a little too short. But what a win for Matthew O'Brien.
Matthew O'Brien able to take the win, his first win in his Inter Cup Series career, and only his 3rd start. But Jonathan Parker, without that span of the hairpin, he had that race won. Is the amount he caught back up as he spun about with 15 to go. He spun off the hairpin, and that was enough to allow O'Brien to able to win. This Ryan on the 2-tire call, it worked out for him perfectly. Luckily he had made no mistakes compared to Parker. He was just able to hold off. Man, one or two more laps though, Parker would have been there. Once again, a great finish. But O'Brien's gonna be able to come down to the front straightaway and burn it down here. Gonna mention the little kind of side quest for maybe some of these drivers, maybe get the race time to under an hour. Ironically, it was 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second, .470. So, it was all 01s on the timesheet there. But O'Brien, he'll burn it down here on the front straightaway here at Gateway. Will be a road course winner for the round of 12 cutoff. And a round of 12 cutoff, no changes. It's from a round of 8 before, so it'll be Jonathan Parker, Kyle Todd, Mark Kisswether, Josh Adams, Cole Snyder, Zachary Meredith, Donnie Kite, and Josh Arnold fighting out for the championship over the next round. They'll get that 8-4 in 3 weeks' time. But Matthew O'Brien burns it out. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here from Gateway.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
njbdesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Welcome back here to Gateways. We just wrapped up the round of 12 finale here from the Gateway Road Course. Before we get to our poster stations, let's take a quick look at our finishing results here tonight. As Matthew O'Brien able to take the win, just able to hold off Jonathan Parker there to the finish. Jonathan Jersmeyer finished third tonight. Donnie Kite finishing fourth. Josh Long in fifth. Kyle Todd running in the top six. Brock Morrison seventh. Hunter Senior in eighth. Marcus Weather ninth. And Josh Adams out of the top 10. Finishing 11th tonight, Cole Snyder, running our 13th car field. Back in Meredith and Mike Campbell not taking the green flag tonight as they finish 12th and 13th. We'll take it down to Pizza and Wings Gaming victory lane as Matthew O'Brien able to pick up the win there. You had to hold off Parker there late as he was chasing you down. But how's it feel to get this win? And what do you think? Kind of what was going through your head there for the last few laps?
Well, I was happy he spun, but he was only like what 5-6 seconds behind me. I was like, oh man, he's still gonna be in this. But I didn't feel like I actually couldn't beat him on. I didn't feel like I was gonna beat him on 4, so I was like, I'm gonna do something kind of stupid, and just take 2 and see what happens. And then Morris didn't take any tires, so we were racing, and he kind of just overdrove the corner. And then after that, I was like. Then Parker started catching me really fast, and I was getting worried. Then he spun, and then started catching me again. I was like, "Oh man, this is rough," because the lefts were they're done. The left tires were done.
Yeah. And I want to mention the kind of that strategy there because Morris took none. Is kind of a night road course. Is a little bit different. Only saw about the second and a half fall off, but I was kind of interested to see that tire strategy. Took 2 tires there. Do you think how did that feel? 2 tires feel compared to the kind of within the fall off throughout the race, especially with it compared to 4 tires.
I'd say like the first 10-15 laps, it just felt normal. Like I didn't really feel any different. But after that, it started feeling really bad. And like those last 10 laps going through like that right hand carousel, that was awful. That was terrible. I'm pretty sure Parker was gaining like almost a half a second a lap through that turn alone because it was so bad. But yeah, it was stressful at the end for sure because I was pushing hard. Like that was full push at the end, but the tires had no life left. But happy to get the win.
Yeah, able to hold on there on that 2 tire call, able to hold on just enough for Jonathan Parker. But before we stand up on debate, any sponsor thing for tonight's race win?
Shout out to you guys for broadcasting, and shout out to the league owners for running the show as well.
And once again, congrats on your race win. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
So that was Matthew O'Brien, our race winner here tonight from Pizza and Wings Gaming Victory Lane. We'll bring in our second place finisher and our points leader of Jonathan Parker. Now, Jonathan Parker able to close the gap down. You got spun with about 15 to go. You almost closed it down, almost took the win away. What was going through your head there with those final few laps? And what do you think you could have done differently to win this race?
Yeah, just not have that lazy spin. I could probably go through that corner 100 times and not have that happen. And probably combined within the race and in the practice session, I probably did about 100 laps. And that happened out of there only once, really. So it's just one of those deals and put me in a hole. And it reminded me a lot of the Daytona road course race I won, where I spun myself out twice. I kept putting myself in a hole, and I was able to overcome it then, just barely. And today I would have needed one more lap. O'Brien with the 2 tire call, it kind of shocked me, and it really shouldn't have worked. But you make mistakes and you let people hanging around. It's usually doesn't end well. So I'm kind of mad at myself, but the way if I execute like that every round, I'll have a shot at the championship.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you're gonna have the points lead once again. You're gonna have a pretty solid points lead. But going into the round of 8, it's gonna get a little bit tougher as you're gonna go from 8 to 4 in 3 weeks time. But you enter the round of 8 as a points leader, but you also go into Talladega, so kind of a wild card race. So kind of what's your game plan in next week at Talladega, and kind of what's your game plan there?
With this package, there is no game plan. I gotta qualify good and hope and pray everything goes my way. And prepare for carnage there. Prepare to be in a hole, because Legacy, Atlanta, and Kansas are 2 places I can make up points. So I know it's not really a good mindset to go into a plate track. You should want to be on offense, because usually when you're on defense, you get crashed. But it doesn't matter what mentality I have at Talladega. I always get crashed. So I just gotta hope that October 17th is my lucky day. Otherwise, it's gonna be a rough day. But the other 2 tracks I should be pretty okay at, and I'll be able to make up points there.
You're able to get a solid run tonight here in second. Pick up some extra points and easily lock yourself into the round of 8. But before this end point of 8, any sponsor link for tonight's second place run?
I like to thank Lowe's, Cobalt Tools, Coca-Cola Company, Mel Yellow. I'd like to thank really all the admins and Josh Arnold. I know this is, usually off the wall racetracks like this, they don't really get a lot of people, honestly, which is a shame. I wish more people would have an open mind to just wacky tracks like this or a Lamar or something, because honestly, once I got the hang of it, it was a lot of fun to really go around this road course. Dirty Air was kind of an issue, but it was just honestly a blast to just drive the racetrack. And it wasn't absolutely impossible to pass. If you got a run on someone and had a little bit of a pace advantage, you would have been able to make it work. So it's just shout out to all the admins, anyone's idea who it was to put this track out on the schedule, along with Lamar, because those are 2 off the wall tracks that we don't go to. It was a lot of fun to race that, and I hope we do that again next season. Since this was our last road course, just 1 or 2 is nice. And I'd like to thank everybody who was in the call. Not everyone was racing in this race, but Jurg was. Shout out to Jurg getting P3. This is his home track. I know he wanted a couple better. Loves this racetrack kind of no matter what format it is. So shout out to him, and shout out to Christian Pacheco.
And once again, congrats on your second place finish tonight. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Thank you.
So Jonathan Parker, our second place finisher here tonight. We'll bring in our third place finisher of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. It was a solid run for you tonight. Sat in the top 3, top 4 all night long. You're one of the first drivers to pit, though, able to get 4 fresh tires the earliest. So kind of what was you going through your game plan there and those and through those pit stops?
Yeah, I realized in the middle of that first run that I was really killing my tires, but I was hopping over those curbs in the infield, and it was really destroying my tires. It was really fun to jump over those curves, but it was really killing my tires, and I was falling off at the end of that run, and I decided to just pit and see what happens. And I really had to manage it at the end of that last run, because my tires were very, very bad, but luckily I had no pressure from behind, so yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, pick up a solid third place finish with that strategy. But kind of a unique road course here at the Gateway. So can you just talk us through? How do you think the tonight was, and just kind of with this road course, and you think kind of definitely maybe try and get up a little bit farther up?
Oh, it was awesome. Gateway is my home track. I live very, very close to Gateway. And yeah, I just love running tracks like this. It's really awesome. You don't really, I mean, these tracks you don't race in any other league, and it's awesome to have a little refresh and actually have a new track to learn, because I mean, at least for me, I race in a lot of leagues, so I experience a lot of different tracks a lot. So it's awesome to change it up, and I thought it was really fun. And I can't wait to see what crazy tracks come up next season, and I'm ready for the rest of this season.
And once again, congrats on your third place finish here tonight. But before we stand up on the way, any sponsor thank for tonight's third place round?
Shout out James Bomar, he made the scheme. Shout out to Matt O'Brien on the win, and shout out to JP on the second as well. That's about it.
And once again, congrats on your third place run. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yep, thank you.
So that was our third place finisher tonight of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. It was definitely a fun one here at the Gateway. Of course, saw a little bit of different strategies play out, which allowed it with the nighttime, a little bit different strategy. But Matthew O'Brien on the 2 tires able to work out. As Jonathan Martin was hunting him down, but just wasn't able to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought once Jonathan Barker spun out, I didn't think he really had a shot there, but he really turned it up there late in the race and almost had it there at the end. But what a race that was here at Gateway.
It was definitely a fun one before we sign off here here from Gateway. Coming up next year on the Legends Racing Network. Next week we'll have Wednesday night. We'll have the Superstar Arc East at Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And on Thursday night we'll have the season opener for the Quantum Contender Series at the Brickyard, Indianapolis, as that is the season 2 kind of the Undisputed Cup Series. It's going to be a little grand over the off season. And next Friday night we'll have the round of 8 opener for the NAOR Cup Series season 6 playoffs at Talladega next week. So that'll definitely be a fun one to watch. But it was definitely a fun one tonight here from the Gateway Road Course. I'm Brian, joined alongside my co-commentator and producer tonight of Talent Drake. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Network. So long here from Gateway.